Now, the Lisbon Treaty has finally been fully ratified, 8 years after European leaders launched a process to make the EU what they called more democratic. The Czech Republic became the last European state to ratify 2 days ago. It's expected to officially become law in December. Now, someone who's always been pretty vocal about the treaty and on Europe is Paul Nuttall. He's the North West UKIP MEP. Welcome to Channel M today.
Cheers.
Ratification then, Paul. All 27 states are now signed up. Your party's obsolete, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think we're more relevant than ever because you've got 3 political parties now in this country who promised us a referendum on the Lisbon Treaty in 2005 in their manifestos. First we had the Liberal Democrats rat on the people, then the Labour Party, and now, a couple of days back, we've got David Cameron, who's refused to give the people a referendum as well. So we're more relevant than ever.
But in defence of those parties, as the other European states went on to ratify, a referendum is obsolete. It's not so much going back on a promise, it's on being unable to have a referendum on something that is now a fait accompli.
Well, that's not necessarily the case, is it? If you think back to the 1975 referendum, that was after we joined in 1973. So when Cameron says you can't have a referendum after the treaty has been signed, it's complete nonsense. And the other line that he's used, saying that the Conservative Party or a Conservative government will have a referendum on any future treaties signed by the European Union, is also nonsense, because there will be no more treaties. This is the final treaty. There's a ratchet clause in it, meaning that there's no going back. It's a self-amending treaty, so therefore there's no more treaties. This is it. So when Cameron says there'll be a referendum on future treaties, it's nonsense.
So this is it. We are committed. Where does that leave a party that calls itself the UK Independence Party? There will be no independence for the UK, will there?
Well, there will be, because the British people, latest opinion polls show that 55% of British people agree with our point of view, which is, yes, let's come out of the European Union, but let's keep the trade and leave the politics behind. So we're more relevant than ever. The only way we're going to get out of the European Union is via Westminster, and that's why we'll be putting up over 500 candidates next year at the general election, and we're going to give it a damn good go.
So you accept, then, that you are a European Union member. I mean,
yeah.
You are participating in that which you decry, aren't you?
Well, you know, we have to take the devil's money to do God's work. I mean, if that's a nice way of putting it, yeah. I mean, I'm a Euro MP, and we have to be in it to win it. We have to go there, and we have to find out how the thing works, and we have to expose it in national newspapers, just how bad it is. And the great success of UKIP has been is that we've driven public opinion over the past 10 years on this issue.
Do you think, then, as we approach a general election, in some would say coming out of a recession, but certainly in economic tough times, so, you know, the policies of the parties in terms of health, education and the like are going to be far more important than people's engagement with a Europe they still see as those foreigners over the water for some people? People aren't bothered about Europe, Paul. They're bothered about the money in, you know, the pound in their pocket, as an old MP, as an old Prime Minister used to say.
You talk about pounds in the pocket. It costs us £45 million per day to be members of the European Union. That's around £15 billion a year. Now, you imagine what we could do with that money. You know, let's arm our boys out in Afghanistan. Let's build better hospitals. Let's have better schools. So it is very, very relevant
policies,
indeed.
But MPs are held in not very high esteem at the moment, and people on the European gravy train held in even less esteem, aren't they? You're not going to win any votes on that, are you?
On which, I mean, look, you know, MPs are held in contempt at the moment. I think probably only bankers are held in more contempt. But this opens the door for UKIP, you know, because pretty much our hands are clean, you know, and we're going in there with a new, young party, really, relatively compared to the others, and we're going to give it a damn good go next year, because the expenses scandal has blown everything open.
They want a party who's got policies on other issues other than Europe, don't they? People want to vote on, you know, on the economy and education and health and the NHS.
And we have policies in all these areas, and what UKIP has done in the last 4 years has grown from being what many people would consider to be a single-issue pressure group into a fully fledged political party with a whole raft of policies. But we've got to get back to the message, and the key fact is that the other 3 parties have ratted on their pledge. They can't be trusted, and we'll be the only party next year offering to give a referendum to the people on Lisbon.
Always good to exchange words with you, Paul. Thank you for that. It's good to talk to you.